Motor muffs, outboard engine muffs, engine flush muffs, outboard engine water muffs, motor flusher, water flushing muffs, marine boat water flusher, marine engine motor flusher. These are the things that you use to flush your engine out or to be running your engine on the hard. Hi, I'm Wayne the Boat Guy, and we're going to talk about water flusher muffs today. So if you have an outboard engine or an inboard outboard engine, these things always need to have water while they're running. Most of your marine engines require an impeller, which is a small rubber multi-bladed propeller that spins around at a very high rate of speed inside of a metal or plastic chamber to pump the water through the engine. If you run your engine without any water flowing through there, even just for a minute, that rubber impeller is going to burn up, melt, break apart, heat up, and cause all kinds of problems in your engine. Because if the little rubber bits fall off of that impeller, they can go up inside of your engine and cause even more issues with blockages inside of cooling pipes and stuff. So you never want to run your outboard engine or your inboard outboard engine that runs on raw water cooling without water flowing through the engine. And the way to get the water flowing through the engine is with muffs, engine flushing muffs. What some boaters do, even if they boat in freshwater lakes, is when they get home from the lake, they always put the muffs on and run their engine for a couple of minutes just to flush out any of the stuff that may have gotten picked up from the lake, any of that dirty water, or if there's any debris that came through, they're flushing it out with some clean water from their garden hose. And for people who keep their boat in a marina, typically they only put it on the muffs whenever they've taken the boat out for the season, winterizing it, and then once again as they're test running it in the spring. And I don't know what saltwater boaters do who keep their boat in a marina all the time. Maybe they just leave it like that until they're ready to take it out for the season. If you're a saltwater boater, let me know in the comments how you flush out your engine. When you use these is, for example, if you've been running in saltwater, put these on, hook a hose up to here, and run your engine for a couple minutes running fresh water through the engine. That helps reduce corrosion. For those of you who run in freshwater or brackish water, at the end of the season you should flush your engine out with some fresh water. And also you can use this for loading in antifreeze in the wintertime and in the springtime when you are testing out your engine to make sure it's ready to go back in the water. How do these work? Your outdrive or your outboard motor have these small holes located here on the side down near the bottom of the engine or the outdrive, and that is your main water intake. They are on both sides of the engine, and what this does is this clamps on, slides over that to block those holes, and then you hook your garden hose up to this to flow water into there. This one here I actually have set up with a separate valve on it. So I have installed a separate little plastic valve, and this little valve allows me to have the water hose off and then just turn the water hose on right before I go to flush the engine. Obviously you have to make sure that you have this on before you start your engine. This set here doesn't have that, and these are round cups and these are rectangular cups. They also make a different type of a muff where the hose connects at the end and runs water through both sides evenly. That's kind of a neat design to make sure that you're getting more water coming into your engine. I have found that on all of my outboard motors and my inboard outboard engines that either style seems to work just fine. When you install these, you want to make sure that the cup surfaces completely cover the intake holes on both sides of the engine. And you make sure they sit flush on here and they cover over those intake holes. When it's hooked up to the hose and the hose is running, water will come seeping out of here. This is not a perfect suction fit. This just keeps the majority of the water in there, because once your engine starts running and your impeller is pumping water, it will pull the water through. So while your engine is running, water will still come out of here around the edges of this or at this connection on both sides. but the majority of the water will be going through your engine. If it's an outboard motor, you should see water coming out of the telltale at the top of the engine. And if it's an inboard outboard like this, you should see it coming out of the exhaust. So how you liking this video so far? If you like this video, please give it a like down below. Thank you. When you're installing muffs, you want to make sure that you're coming at it from the correct direction. For example, in this outdrive, my muffs will not fit if I put them on from the front side because the bracket will actually hit all the way on the front. So I have to kind of wiggle the prop around a little bit to be able to slide this through from the backside and to fit covering these holes perfectly. Here's the muffs installed on an outboard motor. And as you can see around this side, the cup actually folded itself over. So you just kind of got to work it around a little bit to smooth it out to make sure it's sitting on there securely. If for any reason, when you start to run your engine, you do not see cooling water coming out of the exhaust or the telltale or anywhere else where it should be coming out of on your engine, immediately stop your motor and see if these muffs are fitted properly or if anything's blocking the water flow coming into your engine. On my inboard outboard, I can actually feel the hoses of the engine once it's running to feel where the cool water is coming through the hose and feel the hoses where there's warm water going through there, which is very nice, because it's very hard to see what's happening with the outdrive once I'm up inside there looking at the engine. And remember, do not leave these muffs on whenever you go to launch your boat, because these will block and restrict the water flow coming into your outboard. All right, let's see these muffs in action, shall we? The very small outboard motors, they do not work on muffs. They need to be put into a can or a bucket filled with water because their lower unit is not large enough to be able to accommodate muffs. So when you have small outboards like these, you just simply dunk them into a trash can or a bucket filled with water. So if you've recently gotten a boat this year, make sure you put a pair of muffs on your list if you don't already have them. They'll come in very handy when you go to winterize your boat or as you put your boat on the trailer to take it out after a day being out on the water. I have some links in my description for how to order some of these on Amazon.com. You can also usually get these locally at a local marine store. But these are an important thing that you should have for your boat, because if you want to run your engine while it's on land, you need to be running it with muffs. So I hope this video has helped you explain to you what water flushing muffs are, or outboard engine muffs, engine cooling muffs, whatever you call these. I hope this has helped explain that a little bit better for you. Thank you so much for watching. Here's another video picked just for you, and a playlist of videos similar to this one. Stay safe out there in the water. I wonder if the word muffler came from something to do with the muffs. I've always wondered that. Muffler.